Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the welterweight bout in Bellator between Jaleel Willis and Rustam Khabilov. And how I see right here, I'm going low confidence Jaleel Willis. Because I've seen fights where he's look like he didn't have no grappling defense. Like, this guy wrestling not that good, his jiu-jitsu not that good. Like this guy, he's gonna be somebody that's gonna be, I guess, money for grapplers. Then he go out in his last fight. He looked like his takedown defense was on point. And he pretty much would shut like Kyle Crushman down the whole fight. And, just put on a striking clinic on him. So like you don't know. And then the Rustam Khabilov on his side, like at one point he was, if you were watching the stuff live, like where somebody just like came in after Conor McGregor in like 2015, like you have been watching MMA for a long time, even prior to Conor McGregor, or at least I don't know where I'm going, but all I'm trying to say, if you were around watching Rustam Khabilov and Khabib come up at the same time, obviously, hindsight now, Khabib has achieved a whole lot more, and obviously, and such, and a much better fighter, and such and such. But when they both were coming up, Rustam Khabilov initially was a more scarier, more imposing one coming up. Like his striking was further along. He was slamming dudes on the head and knocking them out cold. Like that dude was a monster. He was scary coming up. And even kind of to the end of his career in the UFC, he was still a pretty solid fighter, but definitely early on he was a monster. So yeah, so I guess that goes with the trajectory. Like he hasn't fought in a long time. It's not like he's coming off some great. He has. I think coming off one win, but that was he was fighting tooth and nail just to be like pretty much a low tier prospect. Like that was the last fight, and that was a long time ago. I felt like it was long. I think they said 2020 or maybe even like 2019. But I feel like that fight was in 2015. How long ago it felt. But yeah. Anywho, Rustam Khabilov is a pretty solid wrestler. I don't think his striking is all that great. I feel like Jaleel Willis is clearly the better striker. Rustam Khabilov is coming to weight, usually a 55 coming up to fight 170. I think his last fight in UFC was a 170 fight too, or something like catchplay. But nonetheless, he hasn't really fought a whole lot at 170. He hasn't been active. Coming against Jaleel Willis, who is coming off a win over a wrestler, was able to stuff his takedown out striking. I think he could do similar to Rustam Khabilov, potentially put him out, depending. But I'm gonna say decision. I think it's gonna be a harder fight than the Kyle Crushmer still. But I think Jaleel Willis should be able to do a good job to should be able to do a good job to address the wrestling of Rustam Khabilov and just put a pace on him. And I think Khabilov also gonna come in older, come in rusty, and come in a little bit undersized, and gonna be a lot of issues from there. But he's still gonna put on a good effort. But I think Jaleel Willis ultimately gonna be able to find that space and time on the feet a lot in this fight and just be able to put a striking clinic on him. But I definitely think he will have his moments. He'll get those takedowns, maybe take some minutes off the clock. But I think largely the most significant in this fight will be when Jaleel Willis is able to get that distance and get his strikes going. I think he will outland him at a significant clip, probably like 10, 20 strikes, and get his hand raised in a decision. So in this one, I have Jaleel Willis via decision.